Should we start?
By all means, let's kick it off.
All right. First, welcome to all. Thank you for joining. For your patience, it's time to reveal a few stuff, answering the questions first. Because if we start showing the things first, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more questions. But we have a described article. We have everything ready for you guys. So let's start by the questions. I'll start by the question number one. Give me a second. Chop. This is 12. All right. So, again, we appreciate the support and engagement. Your questions are very valuable to us. It helps us to, you know, present better everything we're doing. Not everyone is born with the best skills of explaining the most simple way things that we're working on, but we're trying to do this. So, without further ado, question number one was use cases for CiFi and refi. So, we wrote down a few things, so it's going to sound like I'm reading something, but it is actually. It's just for me to not forget anything. So CiFi serves as a primary ecosystem token within the liquidity mining protocol. So first of all, CiFi is needed for the liquidity mining, which the whole ecosystem is based around the liquidity mining, which is something very important. So it uses CiFi will be used for fees, for licenses, for anything that needs operation from the platform. The services we have, the further application we're going to add, the current ones. If you want to have your microeconomy, your not the DAO, because the DAO is one XDC, we're going to keep it that way. So it's to pay or to be using the platform. So this, I believe everyone understands what's the role of CiFi. I didn't see very much questions about CiFi purposes in the question, so I just wanted to clear that out. So for the refi is the loyalty token driven regenerative finance. Okay, so everything revolves around refi for anything that is not paying the platform fees or licenses or such. Projects, when they create their LP tokens for their projects, for their rewards, or for any DeFi solutions, they will be pegged directly with refi. So refi is the token that will be used for anything regenerative finance, anything that we're doing with partners that they bring their businesses on board. It's all revolving around refi. So refi fosters a community growth through bounties and partnerships. Holders can actively participate in expanding the refi ecosystem by creating token pairs with various assets, leveraging the power of this decentralization. So, for instance, a community member can have 100 PLI tokens, which is tokens of the Oracle built on top of XDC network, and can create a liquidity pool by pairing the PLI and the refi tokens at a one-on-one unit basis. This is only to earn them LP trading fees while utilizing it for all the other aspects of the ecosystem of refi, right? So this is just an example of what you can do with it, right? Refi, for it to be working properly, to have the full potential, it also needs participants. Participants are part of the ecosystem. Those pools are important. More different pools of different tokens you bring, more it brings to the ecosystem. Same for the businesses who bring their own tokens, right? It's important for them to have access to different liquidity pools, people to have access to different exit liquidity pools where if you get some rewards, you want to exit, but you don't want to exit necessarily in XDC. You want to do it in PLI or you want to do it. It doesn't really matter at this point. You can choose from the pools available. And that is something that we're asking the community to always think about this. If you have, if you want to make some money while you're holding some things, might be important. So the use cases for refi tokens. So as you guys know, the tokenization platform was something very important to work toward the carbon credits, plastic credits markets. We have a lot of partners that are actively working around those markets or looking to having their company offset their carbon emissions. So the refi is the again, it's sorry. Refi can be used to buy carbon credits to CiFi Credit Store, right? Let's not forget, it's going to deal directly with regulators such as Gold Standard. They're doing the certification and the issuing of the carbon credits. So you will have the certification coming with the credit. So as a company who needs to offset their credit emission, there is dozens of sorry not thousands dozens of projects out there in the blockchain that provides carbon credits, but they're the one issuing and certifying themselves. When the company comes in and needs to offset their carbon emission, I don't think they want to lose their time with unknown registry when they can go with the best ones, which is accelerating the demand of it due to the high quality of the registry behind the carbon credits, which is super important for them. So the credit store, as refi DAO continue onboarding micro and macro generators of credit, the public will gain access to purchase these credits using refi or stablecoins. IoT devices registration fees. So I'll give you guys a very cool example. IoT sensors. All right, IoT sensors can be utilized as nodes for a blockchain, but IoT sensors would gather data for data management, right? So give you an example: you have a solar panel, and your solar panel, you want to get the information from that solar panel to utilize it for or data management or carbon credits creation. So those IoT sensors are those who actually fetch the information from the APIs from the solar panels. They will tell you the outside temperature. They will tell you the panel temperature, the loss energy through the transport, everything that you need to know. So those will be available, if I'm not wrong, Q1 2025. Those will be something you will be able to buy with your refi. It will collect data and create revenues out of those data and return back to you, right? So that's another use case. The supply chain automation fees. So as you guys know, we are working with the Blockchain Supply Chain Association, and can't really say too much in depth with the second ones, but the Digital Supply Chain Association, we're working hard to have something very, very cool for them. And those supply chain SMEs can use refi to register their agents. Again, it could be IoT sensors, it could be other agents, aiding their automation questions, operations, and transitioning to smart contract driven platforms. So those businesses, we are helping them to onboard onto the blockchain, but they need the connector between the data out there and their applications. So we're providing this through the refi ecosystem. I hope everything is clear so far. Let me continue on this. That was for the question number one. So question number two is DeFi platform or lending and borrowing when? Well, I believe this was from Mitch. So the DeFi platform, lending and borrowing will be introduced after CiFi's partner company secure and lending license in UK. So some people of you, I would like to clarify this as we are talking about this at this moment, is circularity finance is three different I can say, I don't know, three different uh, areas in the company. So circularity finance, the application is in the US. Circularity
UK.
labs, Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. The holding also. So circularity, capital, and labs, all of this, those three companies are all based in UK. It's the country we chose to go forward with due to regulations, especially when you're talking about stablecoin, digitalization, name it, DeFi. In England, they're more acceptance versus the US laws. So we have a company in the US, but it's under the company in UK. So it's all going to be operating through the UK laws, which is crypto friendly, not crypto, but digital friendly more than the US. So the lending and borrowing protocol, as we talked to our lawyers, they pressed on us to have the license before launching it. Um, it's easy to launch without a license. If you don't have the license, you're going to be facing a lot of issues, and we don't want to be put in a position where those who are lending could be losing their money due to uh, law suits and all this crap. So we wanted to make sure that in the roadmap you will see it's Q2 2025, but you will see it at the end. We will share the roadmap today of a lot of cool stuff for you guys to see of what's happening now and what's going to happen until Q2 or 3 2025, which is a lot. So that was for the second question. By the way, for the second question, both CiFi and ReFi will be utilized as collaterals eventually on the lending and borrowing protocol. Use casing, the third question, sorry about that. Use cases providing more rewards for governors and NFT holders. Super good question. Important because everything is revolving around the governors, and more things go forward, more the governors will have more a role, an important role, and it's coming right now. We're about to jump into governance. We would like for you, the governors and the VIP holders, to actually take control of what's going to happen on the platform. So the use cases. So currently, due to regulatory consideration, we cannot distribute dividends to any NFT within the ecosystem, holders within the ecosystem, and that means the revenues generated, right? So, however, brand loyalty points are awarded in the form of CiFi and ReFi tokens. So, what that means we cannot give dollars out of this moment, right? Dollars and other things like this to you guys, the governors, as of the moment. It will happen as soon as we get the licenses, which is going to increase a lot for you guys. But for the moment, CFI and ReFi is pretty much what we can give you guys at this moment. To enhance revenue for the governors, we're allocating 50% of all the XDC obtained from the VAT NFTs sales for lending purposes. Those lending landed XDC will generate revenues kicked back to the governors. Um, okay. Once the legal requirements are met, a portion of the generated yield will be distributed to the governor NFT holders, which is what I explained just a little bit before. The moment we have the license, now we're going to be able to have real revenues generated from outside of the ecosystem directly to the governors. I hope everything is fine. I'm going to stop for 2 seconds, just to look if there is something maybe people didn't understand or asking. All right, so far so good. Is it good so far, Mitch? I know you're typing, and those were your questions. The license. Johnny, you want to hit on the license, please?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Which licenses for the lending and borrowing are we running after?
Oh, yeah, perfect. So as of right now for the UK, we're looking at the FCA license for credit consumer licenses for lending, where basically we would be able to participate as obviously creating essentially lines of credit for individuals. We'll be able to go ahead and then move forward to be able to work with a specific group working on this, allowing us to be able to go ahead and essentially open ourselves up to take public savings and then bring it into investment opportunities. As of right now, we can only work with what is called the ability to be able to give individuals the opportunity to participate in the ecosystem through governance until the markets are a little bit more defined. Considering when you look at the UK, you got the FCA obviously to work across the European side of things, and then you also got the other side of it, which is the CFTC. When you look at the United States side of things and how they're controlling what would be considered, I guess, financial applications versus non-financial applications. When you look at what is being done for non-financial applications, it's a completely different type of authority and policy matters. When you look at what is creating yield, essentially when you connect some dividends out of an investment, meaning you take somebody's money and you go ahead and use it for them in a way that they're going to be able to use your platform to create yields, that's a completely different type of policy matter as opposed to being able to give individuals the opportunity to participate in governance, meaning infrastructural architecture, which allows them to have a vote or have the ability to participate in different layers of an ecosystem. These two different strategies are what allows us to play the game while we can without being able to have maximum clarity on all matters, which is how are these financial and non-financial tools being regulated in the US side of things. When it comes to the UK side of things, there's a lot more clarity. When you go to the UAE side of things, there's a lot more clarity. And then obviously, as things continue to evolve, we are paying attention a lot with what's going on in the Swiss side of things. And licenses there will only begin to take place, and discussions for that will take place once we finalize the launch of the Real World Asset DAO, which is essentially a conglomerate of participants who want to be involved with the voting decisions of what type of yield bearing assets will be purchased through that organization. So the way that you can kind of see things is that you have many layers of licenses that we have to yet approach, which is why we've not taken users' money to go ahead and invest in the market, but it's all been about building infrastructural technology to be able to create a no-code deployment platform, which allows anybody to start with only 5 cents or less to be able to create what would be considered to be a utility-based ecosystem through governance without having to attach what would be the secondary mechanisms of yield-bearing mechanisms. So once you have an NFT and you have utility, you're safe until you go ahead and start trying to distribute that yield that may come from investment sources that you want to be able to take users' money from and then redirect. And so we're playing a very thin line between what is essentially building utility and what is creating markets, because as you guys may know, smart markets requires us to be able to have automation between the different sectors of the market that we're looking to control. And so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense in the sense of licenses, because it is a heavy question, but it's an exciting one that we're at least no longer a little bit unclear about. It's more so on patiently walking through the steps.
Thank you. So, do we actually have applications submitted for license or licenses? Can you share which licenses?
So right now, what has been done is actually we've had to be able to go ahead and settle out who's going to be our legal team that's going to be able to drive us forward. As we finalize, we have right now a strong legal team in the UK and the US to be able to go ahead and at least move the discussions forward, which is really important. And sadly, it's where a lot of the time is spent, which is why when you look at CiFi 2.0, you're seeing a more regulated platform coming. So right now, it's more so on following their guidance, and some of them just went on vacation on the UK side before we get all of the three parties that we need to be able to really discuss this matter with clarity. But at least the ball is moving forward for the entire shareholder side of things, and obviously the documentation for what is to be done once this is acquired, as well as the partners that are going to be involved, so that the technology that we bring forward, it's also more on the regulated side and the license side on the technology, not just on the corporate.
All right. So, let's jump into uh, the other ones. All right. So, we just finished number 3 was use cases providing more rewards for the NFT governor NFT holders. So use cases providing more rewards for NFT holders. This is done. All right. Refi DAO NFT staking during duration and future. So the question was, I heard there was only 6 years for the refi DAO returns. Yes, it's correct. Every opportunities have an end life cycle. There's going to be uh, something happening though. Let me explain to you. So the initial reward pool of the refi DAO, the staking contract, is designed to last 6 years. Right? You have to pre-program it in advance. So after the period, when the pool is completely emptied, refi holders can participate in buyback program to to refill the reward the refi DAO pool and increase the refi tokens price through consistent buying pressure. And that we will have to explain in more detail, but that's the plan we're going forward. So it's going to last 6 years. There's going to be opportunities after that, but mainly when you buy them, know that it's a 6 year life cycle to start with. So the profit from the sales of carbon credits within the refi DAO ETF to trade finance companies, which is something we're working hard on to supply trade finex and other trade finance professionals markets. So we're gonna reduce the token circulation by redepositing purchased tokens into the rewards pools. So we promise through the smart contract 6 years. We're going to do everything we can for after that, but for the moment, this is what we have planned. So number 5, the repegging of the refi and CiFi token listing on of refi. So the repegging of CiFi and refi token will happen, but gradually. It cannot happen right away. How are we planning to go forward with this? So first of all, the VIP NFT rewards upgrade, which is we released 2 days ago. It's the 50% opportunity there. Increase the refi tokens price through consistent buying. No, that's sorry about that. I'm reading the number 4. Sorry about that, guys. A lot of things to talk about. We prefer to have it written instead of forgetting about it and having to do another AMA tomorrow. So again, VIP NFT rewards upgrade, the relaunch of the Refi DAO NFTs. So the Refi DAO NFTs, people were asking, when are we going to get back to this? So it's gonna happen in October. How we're gonna do that? We're gonna have a plan where we have to honor those who were actually there at the beginning and they asked for it and they had sadly no chance to do it, especially the governors. But everybody will have their chances. And in the month of October, expect it to be back. Early October, we're not going to wait too long for this. We want it to be back because there is going to be a lot of things happening with this. Um, the launching liquidity pool will all happen on Dex. As soon as we're gonna get ready to relaunch the Refi DAO and have all people got the rest of the seats available, then we'll be able to launch the pool. We're gonna make sure that everything is done one after the other one. The market dynamics are will naturally, will bring back the repegging. We will also do something right after that the seats are done and the pools are available to not crash necessarily the prices. We're gonna be doing some buybacks OTC, right, for the larger amounts. So people with large amounts will have to come to us again, or you are already KYC'd on the platform, or you will have to, so we can contain um, the wrong actors, right? So like this, the big amounts don't need to be dropped on the pools so people can suffer. We're trying to mitigate that by doing those OTCs. Those OTCs will happen at 1.5, like we said, for everyone. It's important that we keep our words. We're going to be the ones taking the hit. Now, talking about this hit, a million point two CiFi were burnt. First thing first, I would be happy to know that the total supply of my project that I'm invested in has less at some point, which is good. But we will make sure that we have a wallet. If you look at our white paper, you will find the pie chart. Uh, we have the reserves. It's a wallet that will always keep the reserves in there into CFI. That is for the company, the CFI company, to be able to, continue expanding and all of this. So we will have to take it from there to put it back into the market because people should not take the hit. The supply, the circulating supply should not take the hit. We should be the one taking it. It's from the reserve wallet. The reserve wallet is there forever. So it shouldn't impact anything except us having funds to operate more in 25 years. But let's make it where we don't need those funds. Um, Let me just put a stop here. Look if anyone has a question on the things I said. All right, no questions. Let's continue. Thank you guys for your patience, by the way. So, number 6, bringing relevance back to refi. Um, I think I was pretty clear just before that everything revolve around refi. CFI, imagine CFI, it's the gas. It's what makes you use applications or create on the platform. It's for the businesses, right? Think of it like this. Think of CFI is for the businesses and for you to pay your gas and such. And refi is for businesses and individuals, right? It's where investors will be able to invest and companies will be able to provide solutions, right? What I mean by solutions is businesses, revenues, right? You want to invest, when you invest in a DeFi platform, right? You have different tools that is offered to you for represented APY, right? You put half and half of what they're asking and you receive rewards from it. But those are backed by absolutely nothing. Most of them. I There is probably out there some cool ones with sustainable rewards. I cannot talk about that because I'm not aware of it. But what I can tell you is the new DeFi, the future DeFi is not with LP tokens. The regulators will never accept that. You got to be sure that it's fun, it's cool at this moment, right? But it's not going to continue. So what I'm going to tell you right now is revenues generated by real businesses that has real revenues, real contracts, real banks backing them, um, is the way to keep the rewards sustainable. So give me just 1 second. Johnny, you want to take over? Give me just 1 minute.
No problem. Maybe I can go ahead and touch a little bit on refi and how it's actually creating essentially the value that I think all of us are hoping for, looking for, and we have been planning for. So it starts really with being able to understand what has been done before and what models could be brought to CFI to best create the sustainable infrastructure that I think we're all looking for. As Amin was saying, CFI plays a big role in giving businesses the opportunity to pay for the licenses for some of the technology that we've been putting together. As we were about to deploy our learning management software, we understood that the Blockchain Supply Chain Association identified some key changes that needed to be made in order to best satisfy the current market needs. And so that was a big hit for us because it really forced us to slow down. And although it's okay because you always want to bring the best product, it allows you to understand that white label solutions are only valuable to scale if they satisfy market needs. So We were able to satisfy the main concern, which is obviously being able to offer educational support for an organization who is trying to go ahead and offer that in a decentralized fashion, which is great. Ultimately, what it does is it allows us to be able to create, again, commodities that are denominated in refi tokens or CiFi tokens or any kind of asset that you may want to denominate a learning educational course through. And that's what we have to take a look at. It's the ability to use blockchain to create commodities or digital assets that are denominated in different tokens. And for us, we're creating technology that allows us to create commodities or essentially courses. If we look at the learning application that we put together, it allows you to create educational courses that allow you to qualify individuals, and you can denominate the purchase of this asset in refi tokens. For us, that is a big advantage because anything that we create to educate in the regenerative finance sector, which is really important because a lot of people don't really comprehend what is happening in the regenerative finance sector. And so this is why we wanted to present in our last AMA on Twitter. It was mostly about being able to bring you guys a real world use case about what is being done with the technology that we put together for the entire network to benefit from. Because when you look at circularity finance, it's not about what it can do for you, it's about what it can do for the network. When you look at what it does for the network, it attracts individuals to be able to use one XDC to start automating their entire business if they'd like to. Using our loyalty brand tokens, you can go ahead and take advantage of it to create multiple different services or different digital assets, whether it's your traditional token or NFT collections or airdrops, whatever it is that you want to do. The platform is there to support you through it. The next step is obviously how is it helping individuals that have XDC have a voice in the network? That's through the VIP. And we cannot go ahead and get individuals to understand regenerative finance until they understand what it means to be able to go ahead and be part of an ecosystem that actually allows you to have a voice. And because there's different layers or relationships of governance in the form of the refi DAO is a direct communication with the shareholders, where any proposals the shareholders have to run by the community essentially as a community discussion, such as things that we'll bring up down the road today. It's going to allow us to be able to go ahead and say, hey, what's going on and how should we go forward to best move the protocol in a direction that everybody feels comfortable that benefits the refi token. On the other side, there has to be a group that you can go talk to so that they can best help you put together what would be the stabilization of the economy on the CiFi token side. And again, that is called the CiFi DAO. So this is the relationship that you kind of first off have to understand when it comes to laying down the infrastructural governments or governance of the ecosystem, is that there must be groups or bodies that, again, the shareholders can go to be able to ask for advice in different ways, because it's essentially a decentralized board group, right? It's a bunch of board members that are working together to be able to succeed in the creation of a network that allows users who have identified themselves to be able to say, hey, I want to take the next step in this network, because even though they know who I am, which wallet is mine, and what I am getting myself involved with, it also allows me to have a benefit in being able to be exposed to others who are willing to operate in the same fashion, where pseudo anonymity is no longer the case, but we're all willing to have an agreement between a third party that is looking to bring identity to the table. And that's what CiFi does. If you guys need support, if there's any transaction that you're unsure about where it's coming from, that's why when it came back to the hack, we looked against every wallet that was within the ecosystem. And that's why we are now trying to go ahead and move to being able to make sure that if you guys want to do any transactions in the actual peg value of 5 to 1, there must be a conversation with us where you validate which wallet is yours. And if you are a KYC member, then we can facilitate to support you in the transaction. But this is the whole point of refi. Refi DAO is essentially a governance group that allows you to be able to help us control and stabilize the direction or the inflation or the growth of refi network as we continue to focus on what is the functional use cases of CiFi as we are moving towards a very strong point in the ecosystem's journey, which is collateralized debt positions. Both of these assets are going to be eligible for that, but we must first create governance groups where it's not left up to those people in charge of the tokens, but it's actually left up to a group of individuals that can impact both the distribution as well as the buyback, which is the removal of tokens in circulation. So with regenerative finance DAO, the last piece is that as a group collectively, we are working to create what is called an ETF of credits, because an ETF of credits allows us to create what is called an ETF token. But again, you cannot issue the ETF token that is representative to the ETF treasury or the vault until you have the proper legal support to do so. So in the meantime, what we've done is being able to create the necessary steps and partnerships to be able to create systems where the treasury will continue to grow at scale, as well as it'll be able to create what is the opportunity for everybody involved with ReFi DAO to be involved in what's the creation of essentially this ETF token, which will be a percentage of those tokens will go to the ReFi DAO NFT holders. So when you're thinking, what's the benefit of a ReFi DAO NFT? You're actually positioning yourself to be part of one of those holders that will receive the ETF token. The ETF token, again, being a very important digital asset for the significance of being able to represent value within a wallet that has accrued multiple different types of highly qualified and verified credits, whether it's plastic, renewable credits, or reforesting credits. So this ETF token is only going to be accessible through, again, the denomination pairing in liquidity pools of a ReFi token. So if you want the ETF token, you must have the ReFi token to swap into it. Another benefit of the ReFi token, very much the same way that the CiFi token will be used in order to create what is called the real world asset ETF, where those individuals, again, are able to receive dividends because of the identification of those tokens. Going back to everything that we're talking about with the legalities, we cannot go into issuance, but we can go into accrual. And I hope that you guys can understand the difference, because the methods to create constant production, verification, validation, and distribution of tokens, credits, once that they have been generated into these designated wallets, is half the battle. The other half is being able to go ahead and have a constant market of buyers that will allow us to basically see the exchange of liquidity go from those that produce it into those that have supported that production process. And so, because at the moment, that's what the trade finance sector represents. Trade finance sector represents the opportunity for regenerative finance to really play a big part by being able to create what are called net zero transactions. And that is the main initiative that the team has been focusing on the last few months, which allows us to say ReFi tokens, ReFi net, and the credits that are being pursued are going to be used in creating net zero transactions or financing for those that are participating in supply chain financing. Meaning, if you are promising to purchase credits that will offset your total emissions through the supply chain that you're going to create with the financing of the capital that you're about to obtain, then you are eligible to receive a lower degree of financing interest. So that means you get cheaper access to capital with future promise of acquisition of credits. At that point, the ETF that we are creating collectively and the markets that are being put together by the entire global demand of these type of services and financial products, these will be the buyers on the other side, or suppliers, when the trade finance companies that are obtaining this cheaper access to liquidity will be the actual buyers. And so not only are we establishing the relationship between trade finance, but we're putting them in direct path with the access to cheaper access to capital, while we on the other side obtain our consumer credit license, which allows us to then use our teams and public communities funding to be able to finance other companies that may need supply chain financing. Meaning we provide capital to the financing, and then we all benefit from the fact that financing is expensive, and if they can find a way to lower their interest rate, they will. And on that backside of it, that's where we come up by being able to supply the credits. And so there's a lot of moving pieces that do not require technological deployment at the moment. Instead, they require partnerships and education with how the technology could be implemented to achieve long-term goals. And in the meantime, we trust the community can help educate and share the word of how DAOs could be created on the platform at a very low cost, so that ultimately the platform can continue to see attention, growth in an organic way that I think everybody wants. But the institutional partners that are really looking to benefit from the technology, while they may understand DAOs, it is not their priority. It is just a secondary benefit to being able to automate what would be the transfer of data on the blockchain from off chain data producers. And in this case, those off chain data producers are what we consider to be micro and macro generators, which are participating in the entire infrastructure of credit production. So, regenerative finance DAO, ReFi DAO, plays a big role in creating the ReFi ETF, which is essentially going to allow us to then compensate further those that are involved with the early rounds of the growth of the ecosystem, so that we can not only get tokens into circulation, but pull them back out of circulation by being able to have you guys take positions of governance within the ecosystem. Without you guys' input, we cannot do anything. But at the same time, if we continue to go ahead and say we don't need community input, then the ecosystem cannot reach its ultimate potential to become a decentralized reserve stablecoin, a reserve asset, I'm sorry, so that we can create stable coins out of both CiFi and ReFi through our collateralized debt technology that we're going to be offering later on, because our partners are on board. They want to guarantee value. And to guarantee value, you must first go through tokenization after setting the governance infrastructure. And tokenization then opens the door for derivatives, whether it's through collateralization, fractionalization, or being able to go ahead and use them as insurance products. So I hope that gives you guys a little bit more of an idea on where ReFi DAO stands in the journey of being able to create value at scale, not just on XDC network, but beyond XDC network. And I mean, I hope you're back by now. Maybe you can
Yeah,
go.
I'm back. Thank you, Johnny. Guys, it's gonna drop as fuck because I cannot speak like Johnny. So you're gonna have to listen to my rugged English. Uh, so that was the number 6. It's answered. So now let's go to number 7. What's the ETA for CiFi 2.0? So you guys heard a lot already about where we're going. So it's important for you guys to understand the rollout is starting already, as we already have created the way for ReFi to rebalance itself. We're already starting about that. So no, Albert, I don't need a developer. Thank you. Tim. So tokenization rollout, the platform rollout, that's super important because being able to have collateralized assets is super important on the blockchain, for could be for supply chain, trade finance, or for those SMEs for their own businesses. So we have to complete, we're rolling out the complete ecosystem overall. So we have a new website because, again, everything we did so far was the first iteration. Obviously, there is always a 2.0. There's probably going to be a 3.0 in a few years. It is how it is. You know, you always want to improve. You've seen the stuff that wasn't working as fine as you thought it would. This time, the rollouts for the tokenization for anything, we're going stages by stages. We want to have community members joining the beta testing with rewards for participation. We want everybody to say, hell yes, let's go, let's put it on mainnet, and we're going on mainnet. So like this, we're not going to repeat earlier mistakes as we are learning from our mistakes. So enhance governance roles. The governance are super important to be in the next phases. we're gonna have to give a little bit more of rooms for the governors to create proposals. Obviously, there's gonna be discussions. Should we have a chat only for proposals and votes, or you guys want to have it directly on the chat? You guys can choose. We will gladly follow
Can I
your
touch
lead on
on that
that.
really quick, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's hopefully it's clear that this is meant to be decentralized. So it's not that you guys who may hold governor seats need any kind of structure other than what's the platform asks of you to present, meaning a title for the proposal, a description, and then if you want to attach a document, you can attach a document. The idea here is that you lead us towards a proposal that can have a binary answer, meaning yes or no, approve or reject. And the idea here is simply the following. Circularity DAO is created different than the DAOs that are able to be created through the platform. So how Circularity DAO works and what Circularity can offer for those that are trying to create DAOs are two different things. And I'll try to my best to explain them both. Circularity DAO allows anyone that holds the governor NFT to create a proposal. So if you want to make a proposal because you hold that NFT and you feel like, hey, that really help out, wonderful. Let me tell you where it really help, because there are two
Johnny,
keys
you're breaking
that
down a little
really.
bit. Can you just move on your right one step?
I'm gonna see if I could switch
Oh
networks and
yeah.
then that helps. But you let me
No, no,
know.
you're good. You're
Is that
good.
better?
Now you're good. Yeah, yeah. Don't move, guys. He's just changing on his computer, probably. All right, he's back.
Is this better? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, I was just going to briefly touch on two key things that the CiFi DAO is essentially being tasked with more than anything, right? There's two key things. One, it's what happens to the CiFi tokens that are obtained from the sales of the CiFi governor NFTs. So the purpose, again, of holding on and denominating the governor's NFT and CiFi tokens is twofold. One, it creates demand for the CiFi token. And number two, it allows the revenue created from the sales to be used in future collateralized debt position loans that will be offered through the platform. So when you think about the CiFi governors, they can earn from two ways. Number one, from the revenue that will be created from the VIP NFTs that are sold, 50% goes to the governor. Again, 50%, this is a ratio that is to be controlled by the governors through CiFi DAO in relationship with the VIP NFT collective. So those are the two things. Number one, it's how to use the CiFi that's been obtained from these sales. And number two, it's what is the ratio of distribution between savings and, again, treasury or lending. So these two items are what make the Circularity DAO responsible of the sustainability of, again, the economic position of the CiFi token for the best interest of those that have supported the ecosystem at its original launch point, which is the 250 governors. Because those 250 governors represent what would be considered to be a consistent demand that could be placed on the protocol, so that at least 10 can be sold every year as the marketing continues to improve, as the community continues to participate through bounties, and as the marketing continues to go ahead and attract others who maybe understand the message and can articulate it in their own way or can build with our platform. That's really where the value comes from. In that every year for the next few years, we'll be able to guarantee, if you do the math, 10 per year leads to 25 years before we have 25 million CiFi tokens pulled out of the market. So the ability for the CiFi governor seat to play a big role in how it impacts what is the relationship between supply and demand in the market is very important. Most people are just looking at what would be how much money can I get, and I get it. But that's not essentially how you build a sustainable project. You build a sustainable project by being able to go ahead and allow individuals to reach this 100,000 CFI goal, because it is a goal. You allow them to achieve it with different financial products that maybe offer you, let's say, 15% if you were to stake your CFI in one of our future liquidity pools that we're going to launch. And maybe by staking it and you can earn 15%, maybe it'll make it easier for you to become a governor in the ecosystem and then participate in leading us forward with proposals. And these proposals are going to be made to the community of VIP NFT holders, which is, again, a decentralized way that those that are invested in the protocol can make a proposal to those that care about the protocol, but maybe don't have that level of wealth yet, but they do
And
have an interest.
if I may add to what you just said, you guys have to see a little bit further down the line where there's gonna be treasuries, right? And those treasuries, what opportunities will be best for the communities? There's gonna be votes around that. There's gonna be governors proposing on that. There will be projects coming to you guys proposing through the platform opportunities. You guys take the control. But for that, step by step, need to start walking together and then we can start running together and then flying together.
But it is decentralized because you guys are ready to fly on your own. If you've learned about the ecosystem, you've heard about the ecosystem, help us by being able to make proposals. Those proposals, once the VIP and the governor NFT members vote, this is a an on-chain decision, meaning now it comes down to the shareholders. Are they going to listen to what the community said on a decentralized vote? Nobody is influencing these votes other than what the community says. And this is the point of decentralization that every single project wants to arrive at some point. We're here, and it just requires the community to say, I can take part in leading this. All it's going to take is for me to go ahead and put my ideas down on a document, make a proposal once I became a governor, and then let the community vote on it, because that is the responsibility that you hold when you purchase that asset, is that you are willing to speak up. You're not just saying, what can I take from the protocol? And with that understanding, the relationship of what is an ecosystem that is meant to be decentralized can start to take shape, because those individuals, the governors and the VIP members, they control what will become 25 million CFI tokens. And so if you guys put a proposal and you say, hey, we should go ahead and sell off 5 million of them, we can't stop that, but we have to listen to you if that's what you want to do, because then you're going to say, we want to use the money to invest in this and this and this to grow the ecosystem. Fine. That's on you guys to make proposal. If you guys want to do it in a decentralized way where the group gets to control an amount and nobody gets in the way of where it goes, that's called real world asset DAO. But we cannot launch the real world asset DAO, or like Amin likes to call it, shark on CiFi, until there is a constant relationship between the community that wants to see the project succeed, because it's a no code deployment platform. Anybody who has been able to provide their KYC or KYB to create digital assets, meaning if anybody wants to create an NFT through the platform and denominate it in ReFi tokens, you immediately created an impact community. People have another reason to go ahead and use the ReFi tokens. Now,
Johnny,
maybe that's not what you want to do, and that's okay. But there is a way to be able to bring back value by being able to recognize that with our tokenization engine, you can tell us, hey guys, I own a piece of land. hey guys, I know somebody with a piece of land. And what that does is it allows you to become eligible to receive CiFi bounties. And maybe, Amin, you can go deeper into it, but I'll pause here. I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
I.
sure that you're able to kind of understand the relationship between the community's governance and the way that it leads to bounty opportunities.
By the way, you have a community member that urged you to get the Starlink, which I fucking agree. So, you know, much love from the community. Guys, I'm going to explain something here, and then we're going to speed up on the questions. We have so much to talk about. We're going to have a presence on the podcast with Andrea Frossinini Venue. You can always get more information, but I want to say something. If you take out all the gibberish technology talks, right? What's the big picture for CFI and ReFi ecosystem? What's the big picture, right? So now imagine we're talking about governance. We're talking about those who will keep the platform operating, not just operating, but evolving, right? Which is super important. Also, from your mobile, and that's where we're going. From your mobile phone, you as an investor, you will be able to log in, check your money management platform where you're going to be able to look at where's the best places you can put your investment, the rewards made from those, where to put them. You will be able to look at a marketplace filled with, look, you all know people who are looking for money for their businesses. They have great businesses, but they're going to have access to funding. They will have numerous occasion opportunities for people to invest in safe bets versus crypto ICOs and all this crap. So that's the goal for the users, right? To have a place where you can even lend your money or borrow money depending on a lot of things on your platform, your social score of the ecosystem. Again, not Chinese social scoring. So the other side, you will have businesses. I went with all my partners into a lot of meetings, and most of them, they're looking for money. They have great ideas, but they're looking for money. So we're going to put the people with great ideas that needs money in the same room where people with money looking for great investments, right? It's as simple as that. All from your phone. You'll be traveling and making safe bets. We're going to have an AI in 2025. That's the end goal. It's to have the AI to actually telling you where is the best opportunities for you, how you can increase your revenues by, it's going to be available. So it's a wealth management platform for the individuals and for the businesses. But at the same time, the other side is onboarding businesses easily without asking them to pay hundreds of thousands to have their technology built. Now they can just literally do it and have access directly to investors through you guys and through all the people from all the networks we're going to open the doors to. We're going to have a lot of carbon credits and other credits part of this baby, because believe it or not, if you're going to see a lender and you tell him, I have a business, I want to borrow money, he's going to tell you, all right, just an example, 11% interest, right? You're going to tell him, but I also produce carbon credits, which is a guarantee of paying you back if you get, right, the those carbon credits or the sales of those carbon credits, which is something that will reduce your percentage of interest from 11 to 9. Example, it's an example, right? Don't quote me on those numbers, but it helps you to understand that we are literally helping people to get better loans, businesses getting new streams of revenues, individual to get opportunities to invest left and right, and to have actually a community that cares about the platform, that take cares of it. All right, so let me go back into the questions. All right, ETA of CFI 2.0, we just did. Liquidity, unlock, and movement to be true. So obviously, you guys know we got our pools drained by a funny guy with an aggregator bot, and it delayed that liquidity. But we are actually gonna go and create liquidity to have it on Bit. Well, Bitrue we already gave the market makers. They already have in hand the tokens. They have the liquidity, but it needs a buying pressure, obviously. So that's why we are working on creating that huge marketing campaign that lasts 3 months. It's already started, but it's gonna have more and more things because when it started, well, the content creators on YouTube and such, they didn't start. They are preparing those videos, and also sadly we are again learning as we go, because marketing agencies, it's not something that we're used to use. It's the first time, but there's going to be a lot of great content out there, creators, a lot of reviews on the project, a lot of spaces into different networks. We're going to bring those projects, we're going to lives into CiFi ecosystem as well with their projects. We are partnering with a couple projects left and right in the blockchain space, not talking about businesses, that's something else, but we're going forward with that. So the liquidity on Bitrue is not an issue. It's going to go up as soon as there is buyers, or else what's the point of just putting large orders left on the sell and on the buy side? What's the point? We have already have access to a new centralized exchange that we're going to be listed on. This will roll out into the marketing campaign. We have another DEX. We're going to put liquidity in. Well, actually, it's going to be two DEXs after all. So we're opening the doors to liquidity. Thank you for taking the time, for your patience with the liquidity. It wasn't easy. We have to think that the worst thing we did for ourselves, where we shot ourselves in the foot since day one, is to launch the DEX at the beginning. We should have not done that. Why? Because people expect liquidity. People expect some standard from the DEX, and we have not put too much effort into the DEX versus what we were trying to build for the businesses and all what we just explained to you guys. So we had to choose between, do we go and work on the DEX and put the effort on the DEX, or we do the platform first, and then, well, we got fucked by doing so because of the hack. Well, we live, we learn, but at least no one is losing nothing, and we're gonna go forward with this. That's the good news behind this. So the Bitrue number 8, liquidity and movement on Bitrue is now answered. Number 9, launch of liquidity pools. We are ready. So um, we plan to activate liquidity pools for CiFi, obviously, the first thing to do, on those DEXs, we said. Um, Obviously, guys, this is think of it as a neutral platform where, again, it's ran by the people. Or if you are SME or individual as an investor, the platform can only grow as much as it can without you guys. It needs you guys too. So while holding some tokens in your wallet, you can use them to actually create pools. You can start being active members into the ecosystem. We understand it didn't happen yet because you guys needed more clarification, to have more things being cleared out and done well before we go there, but we arrive now. So since we're there, we're going to add our liquidity. But you guys, again, if you want to make money earning fees, right, on those transactions, well, put your money at work. Um, the return of CiFi swap. So the CiFi swap will be reintroduced, but differently this time. All right, we're going to share a video in a few minutes when I'm done talking. It's all going to be through the wallet, right? We have an extension coming out after. It's going to go into mobile. We had to deal some things with Apple because Apple, they like to steal your money every time you're having an application on it. They take a percentage of everything, which is ridiculous. So we had to conturn this. And yeah, so the wallet will have obviously the seed phrase You will be able to copy your seed phrase out of there. Uh, you will be able to receive sand, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, multi-signature wallet, and the swap, right? Which you want to swap to other liquidity in the liquidity pools, right? Like I was saying a little bit earlier, the PLI pool or the CGO pool, the PRNT pool, name it. If you guys want to create pools and have more accessibility to your favorite projects, it's another platform to do so. So, earning the fees, the support ecosystem growth, like I was saying. So, I hope this was clear enough. Now, number 11, excuse me, initiation of the multi-chain functionalities. So, multi-chain requires you to at least be settled in one chain, right? Well, all your applications are ready in one chain, which is now we're deploying and we're starting to roll out. So after those are done, we'll be able to redeploy on different EVM chains, right? So first, you guys test it out, beta testing. We're gonna reward you guys for participating. We want your advices, maybe something you guys feel that it would be more cool to have this instead of this. Who knows? You guys will try it, and then we'll be able to release it on mainnet. When all those are done, we'll be able to go and do the same on new chains, creating beta testing again, and the same process. Fast rollouts like we did in the early stages made us understand that sadly it's not like video games where you create applications and just launch, but no. So we're gonna do it strategically. We're gonna do it with you guys to help us, right? So our multi-chain strategy commences with the tokenization platform. The tokenization platform will be ready to launch on multiple chains to open up the doors to liquidity. All right. We are already working. Give you an example. We're already working with um, private families and banks that are ready to put liquidity for assets, collateralized assets for liquidity pools, right? So there's going to be cool stuff, and people can do that as well. People can gather together and start creating pools with a real world asset, some liquidity on the other side, and be able to lend it and create revenues out of it. There's going to be a lot going in that regard. So, um, versatile asset tokenization, right? Companies can generate tokens, derivatives in any chain that suit their needs. That's important because you don't want it to only block them to one chain. They probably not going to be much interested unless they're in love with that chain. So better have a little bit more doors open for them. The VIP and governors NFT, these assets are instrumental in promoting the CiFi ecosystem across different blockchain. It's important again. Imagine again from here, few years from now, a year from now, let's say a year from now, at least 100 of those projects with different opportunities. People from different blockchains all through their phones being able to govern over the platform, the future of where it's going, the future investments, the criterias of how to accept new projects, to be able to accept them, to be funding them, maybe even creating a proposal like, hey, we have, I don't know, 10 million in the wallet, let's use 1 million and create a solar plant, or opportunities, and the revenues can be distributed across the community, those who invested in that DAO that was created by the community. There is a lot of opportunities. So last page, guys, because now it's already getting late. I have to go get my daughter in 45 minutes. So number 12, handling the CiFi token burn during the hack. I already answered that. Number 13, current areas of onboarding SMEs and NGOs. So we have already announced few of them that we are already working with them. So, give you an example: supply chain players such as BSCA, partnering with the Blockchain Supply Chain Association to integrate solutions to enhance transparency, education, and digitization of documents, right? Nonprofits through St. Jude and other nonprofits, Green Cross or others, right? Nonprofits are the most accepting people to jump into the blockchain because, again, it's donations. But it would be cool to have a place transparent when you give your money, there is proof of donation on your site so you can go lower your tax payment at the end of the year, or you can have a proof of spending from the other side. You want to know where your money went when you're helping. You want to make sure that it really helps people, and that we believe it could change everything. Obviously, blockchain is king for transparency, and what else than donations that you want to make sure that is transparent. When you see that little kid on TV that he looks hungry and you have his belly all popped out, he's hungry as fuck. You want to make sure that when you give to that because you were emotional at that moment, well, that money really went to help that little kid, right? So nonprofits, yeah, carbon credits and gold standards and others, working with entities like Gold Standard on onboarding generators of carbon credits. The farmers, the panels, the windmills, the water dams, anything that we can use, even renewable energies. Those markets are huge. I don't know if you guys remember, I shared a tweet. It was an article explaining that in 2030 the ESG markets will be around 30 trillion dollars, which is 6 times more than the gap in the trade finance. So think about it. There is a lot of opportunities. Um, Lender partnerships, engaging with lenders seeking capital to offer competitive returns to liquidity providers, creating opportunities for community participation in lending activities. So we were talking about 50% of the sales of the VIP NFTs will now go into lending opportunities. So the governors and those who own the ReFi DAO that owns part of the seeds will be able to earn from those lending opportunities. So those are all the questions. Damn, that was long. Let me just look if there's something else here. I appreciate being able to do it. Mistake. Love you, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So I've shared something good. I know Johnny's gonna hate me to share it, but I did it anyways. It's just to show you without the design, but just to show you what has been worked in the background. What type of utility people directly from their phone will be able to tap into. We're working hard to create something cool. So I hope this AMA today was answering a lot of questions. Please read the article about the roadmap. And next AMA, we would love to have the rest of the team and not Johnny and I in it. I would love to listen instead of speaking. Also, you guys need to start, meeting the team members to know what they're doing. We have a podcast with Venue and Andrea. I would highly suggest to listen because those are what we're running after. Those are the people we're talking to, and we're building the like Johnny said, we're creating the operating system for wealth management for smart markets and smart markets. So this is amazing. I know, I'm biased, but I still love the project so much. So, guys, wish you all a wonderful week. If anything, ask your questions in the chat. I hope that was enough. Let's roll out. Have a good day, guys. Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks a lot, everybody. It's been great to see you all here, and thanks for the questions. I hope it gives a little bit of clarity. We're excited to be able to keep up and let us know through the social channels. Have a great day.
See you later, guys. Thank you.